This lesson is now going to focus on wireframing. Well, what is wireframing? So there are no prerequisites for this video. What we're going to show you now is how to use online tools to create these things we call wireframes, which are basically a rough way to sketch out the design for what your website should look like without having to commit to too much design process. You don't want to have to put in a bunch of CSS and everything before you've really decided what the website should look like. And also, if you're working on a job, there are many times when you will have to look at wireframes that were created by a designer and use those as instructions for you to design what you want. So sometimes you're making the wireframes yourself. Other times you're looking at wireframes that others have designed. Either way, it's good to know what wireframes are. They're a useful tool in web development. So let's get started. We have this site here and we need to style this. So everything is fine and it seems to work fine, but it's very ugly and nobody would use this as a website. So we can use a wireframing tool. Now there are many free wireframing tools. There are other very good paid wireframing tools. But one that I like to use really quickly is wireframe.cc. So if we go to wireframe.cc, you get a blank canvas right away and you get some drawing tools. And it's actually very simple to use. What you need to do is when you want to create an element, you take the mouse and then you click and drag, and it creates a box for you, or it creates an element for you. And after you've created it, you have to decide what kind of element will it be. Will it be a regular box? And if it is, you can double click on it again and create kind of the tone. It's all black and white because this is not, it's not for color. It's not to completely design what it's going to look like. It's more designing what the general layout will look like. This is the difference between a mock-up and a wireframe. The mock-up is when you have someone in Photoshop or Illustrator, they create what it's going to look like. Wireframing is just a quick tool that you use to decide what the general regions will look like on your site. So let's just say that we have, for our site, we want a background color, I don't know, something that's a little on the darker side. Then I'm going to click and drag another one and decide that it's going to be a box again. And this will be our header. I can double click on it and give it a tone. And these are just, like we said, it's just to map out regions. Then I think the logo would go here. Maybe the site title would go here. So it's called Paco. This time when I let go, instead of clicking on box, I want this to be a text. So I can just call this Paco. And I can highlight it and then say I want it to be italics. Now this, we may use a custom font for that. Then I'm going to click and drag another time. And then this will be, this one you hear, this represents an image. It just puts a box with an X, but that means an image will go there. Now in the center, maybe I want some big image of delicious food right here. Takes up almost maybe half the screen. Image. And then another box that's roughly the same size. Maybe this is where you place your order. This one can be text. Place your order. And the alignment for the text is right here. Now, maybe place your order will go on top of a little header inside of this box. So we'll put this here. Maybe that's like that. And when I want to select something, I'll just click on it. Oh, this got moved to the back. So this one here, I can cut that and then paste it on top of this one. So what I did was I cut it with Control X, and then I had Control V to paste. So move this up here, move this here, and you notice when you move left to right, it kind of shows you some centering lines. You see those lines there? That helps you to see how you can snap it to the grid. So when you place your order, I'll make a box here. Click and drag. Maybe this is a long box, and this will be a combo box. This represents the select menu that we have. And again, get your grid. Then this one here was kind of like the box that we had. And we'll make another one that's text. This is the one that says you have selected whatever you've selected. And again, this is just like really rough. We just want an idea of what we're going to be making. Underneath that, we had add to cart. I'm gonna make this button kind of long. And you can use like a box to represent a button. And maybe this is the color. I mean, the colors doesn't matter. But you see these little two dots in here? If you click and drag on those, it can make a round, you can round it. So it's like a rounded button. And then add to cart. And then underneath this was the list. So this one will be a list. And then I think we had a total. So we'll just do total is here. Total. And then we think it's like $14, right? Something like that. Oh, right. We didn't have the dollar sign. So it was just a number. Okay. So it's not perfect, but we have a general sense of what the layout needs to be for the site. So we know that we have one large box, and then we have a header. Inside the header is the name, maybe a little image. Then we've got an image here. Then we've got another box here that has all of this detail in it. Most of the work is inside of here. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to lay this out using Flexbox and CSS. So that will be the contents of the next video. Feel free to play around with wireframe.cc. This is not really required. To be a developer, you don't really need to know how to make wireframes. You do not need to know how to do this. This is just for you. If you decide you want to be a freelancer or you want to make your own designs and things, it may be a useful tool. CSS is a whole skill. Once we actually get into actually making the design, as a whole skill in of itself. Many developers don't know CSS. So it's okay if you don't know it. But again, this is an optional video just for people who wanted to go a little step further and make their things look a little better than just something that's basic like this. So see us in the next video so we can start laying out the CSS to start making this come to life.